What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. I am one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Greg, welcome back.
Hey, thank you for having me back. Give me one of these.
Hello.
Give me one of these.
Holy crap. How are you controlling my arms so efficiently? I'm powerless right now. I can't move it. My whole body's paralyzed.
You coward. Over here, the pride of Long Island, Colin Moriarty.
Go Islanders.
Go Islanders, indeed. And over here, the pure one, Tim Gettys.
Led to most.
How are you, gentlemen?
Good.
It's good
Well,
to see you
really
again.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, see, it's one of the. Now we had to fake it. Because right now, Kevin is over there editing the Patreon exclusive episode that we did right before this over at patreon.com/.
It's a good episode.
It was
revealing
really
our biggest secrets.
Yeah, that's true. That's not even BS.
Sexual fetishes, addictions.
Let's just say the bulldog runs deep.
It's true.
Yeah, so we did that, but that was like our first time back at the table. I had been gone. I'd been in Mexico. But now for the uninitiated Patreon people, if they don't do that, they didn't listen to that, then this seems like it's our first time together.
Yeah.
So here we are back together.
It's beautiful.
Again.
This is the first day one. It's day one. Day zero.
Day zero.
As
Colin
they say.
leaves in T-minus 3 days.
So we got 3 days together.
Yeah.
One more day.
Then I'm out.
Then you're out to Iceland.
Not like Trout.
You gonna have fun in Iceland? You gonna see
New York
the Northern
first, then
Lights?
Iceland. Yeah. It's gonna be good. I'm excited to go. It's a
Iceland.
random place.
Is that the one that's green?
Green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cold, but
It's really weird.
yeah.
I'm not okay with that.
I know.
Can we
They really
change
got to
that?
switch. They really got to switch.
It's
Like,
the
how do we make
Vikings.
that happen, Colin?
I don't know. As far as I understand, maybe it's just a rumor because I'm not totally up on Nordic history at all, but I think that Greenland is a relic of them calling the country that or the land that to get people to go there.
Yeah. That's what I think you've said that before. I learned.
Those are some fucked up. Those Viking motherfuckers.
Because
They're
they
mean.
were colonial, because they also were in Newfoundland and other parts of Canada, so they were all up in that
all up in that Arctic.
Then you get out
All
of
up
that.
in that Arctic.
And you could still see the remnants of the Vikings landed in the New World 450 years before Columbus.
What are the remnants of it? You're saying we could?
They're in Newfoundland.
There's a bunch of the helmets with the horns.
There's foundations of houses in Newfoundland. I can't Meadow something. It's some French name, but it's on the coast and there's like houses like remnants of a Viking colony.
That's crazy. That's cool.
From 1000 from year 1000.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Suck it, Columbus.
And of course,
Amerigo
maybe the
Vespucci.
Chinese came here as well, and the Romans might have been here and stuff like that a long time ago. So
But we don't want to give any of them
no.
credit.
No,
Columbus Day is still a thing in New York. And New
isn't it
Jersey.
everywhere?
It's a thing though. Like it's
Oh.
it's like there's even a Sopranos episode from back in the day making fun of it a little bit because it's like a very serious thing in the Italian, like people that don't know, like Columbus was an Italian, but he was
Is that when they do the
exploring
Italian
for
fair?
this.
Like the Italian street fair? Is that the same time as Columbus Day, or is that different?
Presumably, I don't know anything about that. All I know is that we'd have that entire day off from school. Everyone would be off from work that day, and it's like a totally different world. Like it's just a day.
Interesting.
But in
It's
New
just
York,
a day off.
Yeah, in New York, it's like a day. Like it's not even a day off for a lot of people on the West Coast.
All right.
That, like
We had a day
between we did, but a lot of people don't. And in schools and stuff. But between the Jewish holidays in October and Columbus Day, October was like the best in New York because you get like Yom Kippur, I think, and a bunch of other shit.
Oh, that's
like,
right.
Like
'cause you guys
we get
do all the Jewish holidays,
yeah,
right?
all of them.
Yeah.
It's a serious we have a big Jewish
Real
population on Long Island, so like October was awesome. You go back in September, and then in October you just have like half the month off. Then November you'd have Thanksgiving, and then
Christmas.
December you'd have Christmas, and then February and March or February and April you'd have.
So
a week
did you
off in each.
stay in, or were you
That's
like
awesome.
later? Were you in school like to July?
We stayed until like mid-June. Was when school
That's
was
not
over.
much different than
That's
that.
Not
pretty
much
normal.
different. Yeah.
And we'd start like right after Labor Day.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been a good episode.
Well, if you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Game Over Greggy show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around this table. Each bring a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that, you can get everything early over at patreon.com/kindafunny. But if you don't want to give us any money, no big deal. The show posts topic by topic, day by day over on youtube.com/kindafunny before we put up the entire show each and every Friday on YouTube and iTunes and podcast services around the globe. Mm-hmm. We didn't talk. I didn't check the document before. Is there any sponsorships we need to talk about this episode?
I don't think this week, no.
Oh, perfect. All right, great.
We're starting to get
Able to do it
sponsorships.
right.
That's exciting, though. That's
Thank
fun.
you so much. Yes, very
Strange
very fun.
world out there, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
all because
I
of
mean,
your support.
all because of your support. It's awesome, and so hopefully you'll have to you'll get to hear us kind of do that rigmarole, which will be fun coming up.
Well,
We've had a few.
we've done it a few times.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
do the shout outs.
I think it'll be more regular now, is what you're saying.
We're hoping so.
We love being regular.
Yeah.
We know Nick loves being regular around
Every-
11:30,
yeah,
12 every day
right
in
into
my fucking
there.
bathroom.
I took my shirt off today.
I heard you tweeted about the Costanza thing. You didn't really take your shirt off in there.
I did. I walked in.
You
and I
got
was
a
like,
little overheated?
no, I like the freedom. I like the feeling of like the light breeze on my
Really?
chest and my nipples while I
can't
do.
poop naked.
Really?
What?
That's the best, man.
It's weird. I feel
It's
very
like swimming
uncomfortable.
naked.
I feel too
I've never
vulnerable.
swam naked. I think.
That's like the most vulnerable I'll ever feel.
Really?
Naked, sitting on a toilet, trying to just drop a diamond.
So like, hold on. I understand maybe like you live with people.
Trying to drop a diamond.
You work in our house and do this thing. What about like you get sent somewhere? You get your when we went to PAX. You have your own room.
Yeah.
You get fully. What if you work?
That scenario happened. I was naked, and I was comfortable being naked in the room. But then when I went to poop,
You did
put
not
your clothes
put on
back
clothes.
on?
You did not put on clothes to take a poop.
I did.
That's bizarre because
Yeah,
when
it's
really
I'm here's what happens when I'm in a hotel room. All bets are off.
Oh yeah.
Like when we were in
Just jerk
Boston,
off using the sheets?
Yeah, whatever you want, you can do.
Just grab a
do whatever
whole
you want.
handful of sheets and
You
start
could-
humping it like
Because
a dog's leg.
here's the thing.
Thank
about the
God
hotel
this
room.
episode isn't sponsored.
Because here's the thing about this hotel room situation is that you damn well know that no matter how heinous you're being,
someone
was fucking 10 times more heinous, and it wasn't even that long ago.
No.
So
Night before probably.
Yeah.
Maybe that morning.
So I'm not doing anything crazy in there, but I mean, I'm gonna get naked. I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna take 4. Like sometimes I just get crazy, like where like I know I'm in for the night, like 6 or 7 after dinner. And I'll just take like 4 different baths between like 7 and 2. I'll just be like, I'm just gonna take a bath now, and I'll just take a bath, and I'll get out, and then I'll lay in bed and like be on the internet. I kind of want to take
I don't know
a shower.
if I'd ever take a bath.
Oh, I love baths.
No, I like baths, but I don't know about hotel baths.
Oh, hotel baths are best because you know what? Say what you will. We were in a very nice hotel.
We were with
And of course you have to gauge it by the nicest of the hotel. That bathroom is probably way cleaner than I've ever been. Like than a bathroom I've ever
probably
been.
cleaner than your bathroom.
I
Yeah.
do scrub my bathroom. I'm pretty crazy about it, but and Cheryl is too. But that bathroom is pristine. I'm not really super worried about taking a bath in there. You know what I mean?
Bleach solves all problems. They're bleaching that thing because
It
they
is what it
can't.
is.
You have to understand at the Fairmont they can't afford any sort of like they're not trying to get sued at all.
Yeah,
So you better believe they're getting
People are
in there.
suing over the bathtubs.
Dude, if you
Yeah.
went or like they sue a lot of
If I
like,
got the
bed
herpes-
bugs and shit like that.
You're not getting the herp from a bathtub.
Hey,
Now
is that a dare, Greg Miller?
I say all that, and I will tell you that I don't take baths because baths gross me out. Like I don't like touching shower bathtubs. I don't.
You don't like being in your own bathwater for an hour?
That isn't even it.
You don't take baths here even?
No. Christine does it all the time, and I'm just like,
I
no,
know
thank
that.
you. I know what happens in that shower.
Yeah.
The
What
drain.
happens in it?
Patello's in there, walking around on all 4 paws. I'm in there.
You
on
pee
my,
in the
on my
shower?
feet. Me?
Yeah.
No, we talked about this before. You do, and you like
Oh,
make a
yeah.
point to.
Oh, yeah.
I've done it a few times since then. It's just not my thing.
It has its place.
It's rare.
I don't think you have to do it every day.
See, it's one of those where I have to be thinking about it. Like if I'm gonna take the pee, then I'm like, wait, I'm getting in the shower. Colin made this thing. I'll try that out today. And I did. I was like, all right.
You guys pee in the shower? Did we talk about this? We did.
We've
We've talked about this before,
not
yeah.
as like a topic.
Yeah.
It's definitely not something that I'm like.
I don't make
make a point to it, and I'm always weird about it. It's never just like a free flowing pee. Like I'm very controlled with it.
Oh no, I don't do the free. But I don't.
You're not-
I don't like to say that I
Colin's
make a
spinning around.
I don't like to say that I make a point of it. It's not like, oh, I have to pee, I should take a shower now.
Sure.
But if I'm about to take a shower and then you get naked, you get a little cold, you got to pee. I'm gonna do. I mean, I'm gonna flush this water down.
I go to the bathroom before I get into the shower every single time. Right, you got to empty as much of that out as possible.
Really?
But sometimes when the warm water hits you, you know, it's like
Yeah.
the old like wives' tale. I don't know if it's true or not, but you put your, you know, at spend night parties, sleepover parties, you put your friend's hand in a glass
that's
of
true.
warm water and they just pee. There's something about that. Maybe I don't know. It hits
Yeah.
me.
That's a
It
good
hits
point. That's a good point.
my torso.
Are you letting the water touch your hand?
I try to keep my hands dry the whole
That's
time.
probably what's doing it if your hands are getting wet.
Very
Yeah, it's
odd.
always the
It's
hands.
very odd because I have to ask my wife to scrub me down.
Delousing powder right on you.
See, I'm just not okay with it when you're in one of like the standing showers or when it's just a shower, not a bathtub. Because bathtubs,
peeing?
Yeah, bathtubs are designed in such a way that like the water is
the
almost
water cycles
consistently going down.
Sure.
Whereas when it's just the thing, you're always standing in like a little bit of
You're
a
standing in
puddle
your
for
own
a
pee.
bit.
No, your pee's hitting your feet.
Yeah,
it's
and
happening.
It's just like
Pee's sterile, doesn't
But
matter.
it's sterile.
yeah, I'm okay with it, but
They say if you get stung by a jellyfish, you have to have Greg Miller piss on your face.
It's true. I
I
had to
bet
do it
someone
so many
recently
times in
that
Mexico.
did have to do it.
What's that?
But
Someone
I got stung on my
I met
leg.
had to pee on their own hand because they got stung by a jellyfish. I don't remember where that story came
That
from.
does work.
According to friends.
But yeah, I don't know. It's not that I have a huge problem with it. It's funny. It's just on my mind because a week or so ago, old goaltender of the Islanders, Rick DiPietro, was talking about how he used to pee in the shower in the locker room. And no one ever said anything to him. And then they had like a wily old veteran that they traded for, Bill Guerin, who doesn't play anymore. And Bill Guerin like was taking a shower one day and was like, "What do you like?" And DiPietro after the game was just in there just peeing. Like
Oh,
while
you
he's
saw
watching.
him?
Yeah,
I
and
would
Bill
never
and
pee
Bill
in
Guerin's
front of
like, and Bill
someone.
Guerin's like, "What are you doing?" And Rick DiPietro was like, "I'm just doing my thing, whatever." He's like, "Yeah, we don't do that." And that was like one of his first days on the
That's
team or
it.
whatever. Yeah.
Did he stop doing it?
Yeah, he stopped doing it.
That's awesome.
We don't do that. I fucking love that.
What was it? Oh god, I was listening to another podcast where they were talking about like the knitting circle of guys. There are guys and the importance of friends and having guy friends that keep you in check. and how like they tell you what not to do anymore from a young age, and that's very important. He was talking
really is
specifically about like he related a story
like
about
peeing into a Dixie cup.
No, just bringing yeah. Well,
And then
no
throwing it
human
behind
being
you.
would think to do that. I think.
Let's not go into that too much.
Yeah, we're not
We'll
gonna go
save
too
that
far
for the
into that.
documentary.
What were they saying? On
No,
the
I
podcast?
think it was Joe Rogan. I listened to a lot of Joe Rogan Experience, which is a phenomenal podcast, and he was talking about how he was one of his guests talking about how excited they were to bring their they had a Hulk lunch pail. And it was from like, from 6th grade to like 7th grade going into junior high. And they brought it the first day of junior high. And their friends were like, what are you doing? What is that? And he's like, oh, we're not doing this anymore? No problem. I'm not going to, that's done.
That was a joke.
That's out.
I don't really like
don't
this.
You guys don't you guys like
and that's how we, but that's the funny thing. Like growing up, I was never in sports. So like showering around other guys was not a thing. Not a thing that I would do. I had to do it one time during a band. We were on a band field trip. And all of us were in, I think,
and the conductor called all the boys into his room. He's like, let's take a shower.
But I mean,
see your flute, little
like,
Nicky.
did you shower? Wow. Somewhere there's pictures of my 16-year-old penis floating on the internet. Did you shower around the guys in hockey?
I didn't shower, but I would be naked in front of them. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that was so foreign to me.
Context necessary.
Well, no, because I've told this story before, but like in hockey, it's not terribly uncommon for people to play with very little under their equipment. And I used to just play butt naked under my equipment.
Yeah.
Because I was a goalie, it was a very arduous position, a lot of up and down, and like you just sweat and be gross. So your solution was either to wear a t-shirt and underwear, especially your underwear. Like I wore underwear. I didn't start doing this until high school, but like in 9th grade or whatever, when I was like, freshman goalie, whatever, I could like take my underwear off and just like wring it.
That's gross.
So I was like, what is the point of even wearing this stuff?
Well,
then by 10th grade, I was basically just playing naked. I would just put my cup on over my junk and then just be totally naked.
And then what would you do with the cup? You just spray out the cup with some Lysol and you go about your business?
Hockey smells a very specific way. It's not very good. So like hockey and people out there that play hockey will know exactly. Like it is a smell. It is not like BO or anything. It's just a specific, not pleasant smell. But and it's because
fungus.
Because I would take my stuff and then just spread it out in like I have like a fireplace and like a Vermont burning stove in my house. So
I'm sure your parents love this.
So I would just take my shit out and just put it like out, like my blocker and my glove, my chest protector, my pants, my like
just to dry it off.
Yeah, my skates and stuff.
That's
and
so
then,
gross.
And my socks and hockey socks are the ones that you wear over your legs, not like your.
But you wouldn't actually go in and clean your pads.
No, in fact, that's bad luck. If you watch hockey,
never playing hockey.
Watch hockey very carefully. Goalies are. I was a goalie, and goalies are very superstitious and fucking crazy people. Like they are, and I was no exception. I wouldn't touch the blue line when I would skate, for instance, like weird shit like that. So like, I would hop over them. So like, there's just like weird things that people would do. And one of the weird things that a lot of goalies don't like to do, and I don't like to do it either. If you watch a game, well, next time hockey's always on TV.
Yeah.
Look at the goalies and look at their equipment.
Okay.
And you'll see what are called puck marks all over their equipment, and that stuff will come off if you just like scrub it. But goalies don't do that. It makes their equipment look worn, and they're afraid. And a lot of people are superstitious, so they don't do that stuff. So your equipment gets like really ratty and worn down. And we were talking a while ago about Artis Urbe, who's my favorite goalie of all time, who wore the same equipment for literally like 18 years.
Doesn't it fall apart after
like,
some point?
I gotta find this picture, and maybe we'll put it in the like this. Like
if Kevin likes this job, he'll put the photo in.
If you watch the
Kevin's
evolution of Artis Urbe from when he was a rookie on the Sharks all the way to when he was on the Hurricane, so he started in like '92 and he played until like 2007, and he was wearing the same shit the entire time. And the equipment, I gotta show you guys because it's so fucking funny, dude.
Was he
like he looked like I said he looked like a fucking homeless man by the time he was done. Playing the game because he was like he took it to the next level. There was a story about how he would wear the same helmet. This Jofa's like a brand. He would wear the same helmet and the cage would come off and get all fucking ratted out. And they stopped making that helmet in like the early 90s. He was a Soviet era like Latvian player, and so he started putting ads in various newspapers in like Toronto and other places to like see if anyone had the cage he needed for his helmet because you could just not find it anymore because he was so superstitious that he wouldn't get a real helmet.
That's crazy.
And he was like my favorite. He's a goalie coach in the NHL now.
See,
all right. So here's him. So here's him when he's young. These all right. So this is him when he was on the Sharks. He's probably like 21, 22
okay.
there. Okay, that's him.
Show it to Kev real quick so he has a reference for what he's looking for.
Artis Urbe on the Sharks.
Thanks, Kev. We love you.
Kind of white equipment, right? And then here is Artis Urbe when he was on the Hurricanes 10 years later.
Yellow.
So look at his blockers. They're just totally black.
Wow, that's crazy.
So like, yeah, you can just see like.
Well, I imagine there's also probably it's probably like a baseball player with his glove, right, where it's so worn in right the way you want it, and you're used to that sort of tactile feel and how it responds when your hands inside of it. That I imagine you don't really want to be shifting around too much. Probably similar to your shoes, right? Like I would imagine you want to wear the same cleat if you're a runner.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like
all
look at his
around.
equipment.
That's nuts. He looks like a hobo.
Yeah.
Like just like because he was just
I
crazy.
can't do it.
superstitious.
It's like me and my mouse.
He used to take
I
his
like my mouse a
he used to
lot.
apparently take his pads and run them over with his truck to like make sure that they were
Like worn in enough.
properly and stuff.
Oh,
What the fuck?
I'm way too worried about.
dying.
Tire tracks?
It's not even dying. It's more like for like the 2 months that I did jiu-jitsu, there's in that community, because what you're basically doing is you're sweating a lot and you're rolling around with each other, and it's very, very easy for, especially if you're doing no-gi jiu-jitsu where you're just basically in shorts and like an Under Armour shirt. It's very easy for bacteria to pass back and forth, and oftentimes you get ringworm. And when it's really bad, if it's not ringworm, it's staph, and staph is really, really bad. And so that's a really in that grappling community, like those are the things you have to watch out for.
The grappling community? Similar to
the climbing community.
Gotcha.
Also
Which is a
in
real
the-
thing.
I'm also in the yoga community as well.
Oh, the yoga community.
That's a very sexy community.
Is there a lot of crossover between these communities?
Not that I've noticed, and I've scrutinized many a body in both. But yeah, that's the thing. And I remember Mark Ryan got staph one time, I think.
Did he?
Because from jiu-jitsu, yeah. He was doing jiu-jitsu, and he was like, I had this thing, and it looked like a spider bite, and then after a while, you have to get that, like, that's very dangerous. You have to get it dug out. They have to, like, dig a hole wherever that is and just carve all of the flesh out of it, because it's a bacteria that eats away at you. And
yeah,
if it
why,
spreads-
okay. Fuck sports. Just no. Yeah.
It's hard. Well, I mean,
That does not sound fun.
there's a difference between sports and activities, right? Jiu-jitsu, I would say, is a sport. Hockey's a sport. Yoga and climbing, I don't know if those are. You can make them
Oh
into sports.
shit! You're pissing off your own
could-
community.
Oh no.
Oh, they're riling right there. I can see
hear
it in the
them.
comments.
The climbing community does not get angry.
Yeah, they're up
Okay.
here.
They get high.
Because
You're down
guys,
here.
listen, when you're that high up in the air, when you're 16 feet in the air, you're above it all. Okay,
true.
mentally and physically, you're above it all. Okay, so someone could yell insult at you, and you know what? You can't hear them. You can't hear them physically.
'Cause you're
and
16
and-
feet
and
up?
You're 16,
They're
17
ants
feet
to
up
you.
in the air.
Aunts and uncles down there.
No, it's not. They don't matter. Nothing matters. You're focused.
Just the next handhold.
That's it.
And your
Next
partner
grip.
on the strap.
Before we move on, we haven't even talked about a topic yet.
Happens here once in a while.
Kevin, I'll send you this picture too, because I think you guys will appreciate this the most. I used to write things on the bottom of my skates, and I took a picture of one of them. So Kirk McLean, who was the goalie of the Canucks in the early '90s, used to write weird on the bottom of his skates. And this was when there was they started putting. They do it all the time now, but a camera in the net so you can see from the goalie's perspective. So I took a picture when I was home last time of my old skates, and I wrote weird on the bottom of it. So you could just see.
So did you
just see how totally bizarre? And then I took that from him when I was. These are my skates from maybe 95, and I just always wore. And then I started wearing black skates later, and I wrote weird in white out on the bottom of those skates.
So is it just that you picked, like, you see a goalie you like who's successful, and you're like, oh, I'll do that too, and
Yeah,
that just
basically.
becomes your superstition
Yeah.
as well? Interesting.
That's fascinating.
So yeah,
And
I
weird.
used to just write weird on the bottom of my skates. And this was my first pair of many that I did it on. And white skates are typically worn by goalies, but I started wearing black skates later because I was just.
Because you're badass.
But well, I like these because you can see the puck marks on them. Like all the times I saved it with my skate, you can see
All the
it
times it dropped.
Yeah.
Dropping the puck.
Dropping the puck.
Anyway,
You're worried about time?
I think that want to make this a topic because
Sure.
we're at 20 minutes already.
Okay.
We talk a little bit longer about our random hotel experiences.
Is that where this came from anymore? I don't even know how
I'm pretty
we got
sure
here.
the topic of this one's gonna be peeing in the shower. That's what's gonna be.
Peeing in the shower.
I can put let's put the
I
headline
will,
would be in the shower.
I will say you are a different person in the hotel room. Like when we were at PAX,
yeah.
I very seldom do this, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna raid the mini bar, and I ate Pringles and a Twix bar.
how much
And
did that
then-
cost?
Oh, it was like $17.
Yeah,
was
okay.
expensive.
What's free in a hotel? Because I
Water
I just
out of
don't
the
touch
faucet.
anything. Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it cost me
it
like
depends
$7.
where you go. Sometimes you'll go and they'll have the bottles of water. They say, hey, this is free. And then other times they'll say $8. And then you go to a fancy place and they will say your mini bar is included. But that's only happened like once to me at a fancy ass
Man, that's just
place.
crazy.
God, if they included the mini bar, I would never leave the hotel.
No, I'd eat dinner there.
And I barely
Breakfast
left it
and dinner.
anyway.
Yeah.
I would
Hotel
just
rooms
bring
are weird.
5 guys back and sit and watch hockey and naked.
Oh yeah.
in the bathtub.
I also
Totally naked.
wear a robe in hotels.
Do you do that?
Never wear a
I
robe.
know.
I don't do that because I don't trust it.
Has it been washed?
So the robe is what
The robe is a bridge
you'll
too
bathe in there.
Because I feel
Their
like
waters.
Yeah, I feel like the scrubbing of the bathtub is a thing that must be paramount, right? You have to
I'm
assume.
sure
I
that
feel like
they're
the laundry's
that they're
paramount
pretty.
too, though.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, if you're getting a robe on the back of your door, it's clean. It's come out of the laundry. There's no way that they're accidentally leaving that on the back.
But this
of
is
that
the whole
thing.
thing with like the comforter. When was the last time I washed the comforter?
Well, the comforter's different. You
Tear
can't.
that
You have to
shit off,
dry clean
put
the
it on the
comforter.
ground.
You can't wash that.
The fucking fancy ass like throw pillows, throw it on the ground. I hate it when I forget to put up the thing and the maid comes back and puts it back on the bed. Like, get that shit away from me. That's why I wrap the remote control, wrap it in a tissue. Not touching that thing. If you got to pick up the phone receiver,
That's
wrap
a
it in
little.
a tissue.
You're a little crazy.
Those are like the grossest things.
That's
in
like
hotel
that's like
rooms.
Ryan Clements.
But no,
level.
here's the thing about it is like that's such a well-known gross thing. I've also been to 2 hotels in my hotel travels that have disposable remote controls for the TV. When you're done, just throw it away. Because like they know that shit doesn't get cleaned and is fucking
hell are you
filthy.
Yeah, what the
Staying.
fuck?
I travel a
That's
lot.
insane.
I know, but what kind of hotels are you staying? I knew that Greg.
Those
had,
are ones
I knew,
that people put me up at.
I knew that Greg had too much money when we were at PAX East, and he had the Voss water. And I'm like, where'd you get that? And you're like, the hotel. You took that. That's like an $8 bottle of water.
Well, then I kept refilling it though, and I used it as a prop in my Paxomania thing. So don't worry.
I'm like, this is one, Greg. This is a bridge too far.
So speaking of gross hotel stories, you said the words gross hotel, and that very quickly reminded me of something. Do you guys remember, this might not have been your generation's thing, because it shouldn't have been anyone's generation thing, when there was like a quick stint on the internet of people uploading videos of them jerking off in hotel rooms and having the maid come in?
It still happens.
No.
It's still
Is
a
that
thing.
still a thing?
That was
Still
a
a thing.
thing.
A
That was
video?
like that was very much a
Still-
thing.
Wait,
Wait. To explain this to me more. So they're jerking off, and then they have the maid come in while they're jerking
No,
off.
they'll sit there and they'll wait for the inevitable housekeeping.
Yeah,
And the guys, and they just won't say anything, and then
Yeah.
she'll walk in and she'll go, "Oh, Dios mío."
yeah, exactly. That's
I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you.
That's it.
I didn't hear you coming in."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Dude, it's disgusting.
Well,
It's
'cause
like
I
it's a
remember-
fetish."
fucking.
I remember
It's
it
a
got
fetish.
really like
That's why you
it
wouldn't
blew
answer that
up
question.
because somebody like one of the maids like got in on the action, and then there was just video
What?
footage of it. Yeah, and then it like
What
turned.
do you
into
mean
this
by
huge-
that? What is she doing?
I mean, they ended
Explain
up
it to me.
No,
Oh.
yeah. She didn't just come in and start. I don't know.
I
I'm
like-
confused.
like
what
it-
did she? Did she?
They
come in?
banged.
Okay,
But I would like the idea better if he was like, "Oh, just go ahead and go about your business." And he was sitting in the chair, and it's like, and she's like changing the sheets.
Yeah.
Well, no. There's been, the guys just like, no, it's okay. Yeah, just come in. It's just like,
And they're like, "No, I'm not coming in and watching."
yeah.
This shit."
That's kind of.
And so these are hidden
fucked up,
camera things?
actually,
I mean,
think.
it's very fucked up. As soon as you think about it for once, it's like that's sexual harassment.
That's
Yeah,
sexual.
really.
That's
That's
probably
kinda
sexual
wrong.
assault.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah, I don't-
But I mean,
you're-
hey,
But
it's
it
the internet.
gave Nick a quick chuckle, didn't it?
That's actually one of those where I'm like, I don't get this. I mean, and I'm not begrudging anyone if that's your thing, you want to watch that, or even don't attempt it. Don't do it. It's illegal.
There's a,
But if
it
you want
sounds
to
like
watch
there's
other people
plenty
do
of
that
videos
shit,
out there already.
cool. It's just there are quite a few sexual fetishes that I look at and I'm like, I don't
Not
get
my
it.
thing.
Not my thing.
And
Yeah,
it
not
shouldn't
my
be
thing.
anyone's thing. Like that's
No, I mean, I'm not going to be begrudging. But most, by the way, I assume that even if it's a quote unquote hidden camera video, that it's
fake.
and that the person is a consenting.
See, I don't think so because
On some of them, you can tell it's not.
yeah,
But
I mean,
on-
I think
like
it's-
when the girl's like, "Oh, what's up?" Yeah, and she's smoking hot. You're like, "No, this is totally fake."
well, it's one of
This
those
is not."
situations where I think the first ones were fake, but then everyone else was like, "I'm gonna do this too because I have a fucking shitty camera that I bought at Best Buy."
Yeah.
and then
Fucking Best Buy.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
really Best Buy's fault.
It really is. If you think about it, everything bad in the world is Best Buy's fault.
Everything.
World War II.
Best Buy.
I never made that
Those
connection.
damn blue shirts.
Think
I
about
know.
it. Think about it.
I'm thinking about
Think
it.
about it. I don't know how I'm trying to draw a parallel right now. It's blanking.
Hotels are great.
Uh-huh.
You go there. You can do it. Yeah, I sleep naked in hotels usually. I don't do that on a daily basis here.
So you won't touch the comforter, but you'll sleep naked in
Because
the bed.
you have those starch sheets. I already tossed the comforter off the bed by this
Okay.
point. Then
So
you have the
you've
starch
taken
and
it with
everything
your-
else. No, I don't want that shit touching me.
I have to. I get too cold.
That's too
I have to
weird.
sleep
That's
like
weird for me.
hotel. I don't sleep well in hotels. My wife, on the other hand, that is her favorite place to be. I have this
too.
image of my wife from the very first time we started traveling together. Specifically, well, I guess not specifically, but our honeymoon specifically was when I remember seeing her for the first time, going, "This is my wife's nirvana." We were in a really nice hotel, and she's just sitting there with the comforter sort of perfectly placed, a magazine in front of her, and room service on the way. And that is just her bliss. And like just having come back from a massage spa appointment or waiting for the massage spa appointment to happen.
Or in between too.
Or in between, whatever, you know. And she loves that. That is where she could go, like in her brain, to escape like the daily stresses. And I'm like, I get that. Like for me, hotels usually denote really hard travel.
Yeah.
Like PAX was great. That hotel room was great. Made ever so better by the fact that We had to travel for 6 hours. It was really cold. We had stuff we had to do. We had obligations. But for the most part, it was super fun up until that point. But with IGN, when we used to travel, it'd be like 5 pieces of gear. Who's going to check this in? How's this going to go? Shit, is that broken?
Carnet.
No way. Yeah, we have a carnet form we have to get through and no one knows how to use. And someone does a stamp at the wrong thing.
What's carnet?
Carnet is the international, like, you have to fill out, when you're traveling with a lot of electronics or a lot of equipment of any kind, you have to fill out this thing called Carnet, which is like, this is the equipment we have, we're not buying it here and not paying taxes and then selling it in another country, basically.
Right.
So you have to like fill out all these things, except
All, like,
for
serial numbers of each camera, of each memory card.
But it's not even.
It's horrible.
It's not even that. It is. I mean, that sucks. But on all the international trips I was on, we never knew exactly what to do because you don't know who to talk to. That we would literally in Germany or Japan or somewhere like go to the airport like 5 hours early.
Yeah.
And I saw Mike Aransky break down not once but twice in Japan alone over Carnet 2 different years. The same thing. He was like looking at me, being like, "The same things." Like last time I was in Japan, like the same thing is happening to us that happened last time. Where like they'll like be like, "You got to go there, you got to go here." They have no idea what you're talking about. You go up. It's like, and I'm just sitting there like already in the terminal, like eating McDonald's.
Yeah, it's because it's
You're such a help.
it's different in every airport, and in some airports they don't use it, and so that is a huge problem. Because you'll go like, I think I took equipment to Mexico, and they're like, "We don't care, go." And I'm like, no, I need you guys to stamp this because I'm gonna bring it back into the United States. They're gonna see it's not stamped. They're gonna assume, like they're not gonna know what's going on here. Japan's really hard because there's a language barrier. Germany is terrifying because the German customs agents do not think I'm funny, do not think I'm charming, do not want me to say anything more than this is the carnet form, and they'll pick like they pick something at random and they look at it and go, okay, show me this item right here. But I'm always I have like. You know how some people have a problem with authority? I have the opposite problem where I want authority to really like me. Like I just want to be, I want the approval so desperately of authority that I'm like, hey, tap dancing in front of the Germans. They're like, get the fucking taser. Tase this son of a bitch right now. Tase his ass.
Yeah, it's if you don't do it, you can get fined like $100,000.
Yeah,
it's a pretty serious thing to do. But
Jesus.
But yeah, nonetheless, I like the hotel scenario. I like going to hotels. Mm-hmm. The problem with the hotel in Boston, it was very nice, but it was also very loud, which I did not expect.
Yeah, fucking elevator.
Yeah, like and the people in the like, I actually had a moment like at 1 or 2 in the morning one night where there was just people in the fucking being loud, and I literally screamed, "Shut the fuck up!" like from my bed, and then it just was like quiet from there. It's like because the doors were all high and like, it's like Jesus, shut the fuck up.
Well, it was an old hotel.
Like just shut up.
Yeah,
no one wants to hear anything you're saying right now. It's 3 a.m. Go to bed. Please go to bed.
That's why I like staying. Like when we went to Rooster Teeth, we were able to stay at the W, and the W in Rooster Teeth is like a brand new hotel made out of concrete. And when you shut the door, it has that sound where it's like, and it's just quiet.
Yeah,
it's so nice. Now, if someone's screaming outside your door, you're gonna hear it. But my room was all the way down at the end of the hall, nestled in like a small group of rooms, and so you're not getting a lot of foot traffic. Whereas in the Fairmont, when we stayed for PAX, I was get off the elevator. My room was like one left and was right there. And so like the first night I was like, what is that goddamn dinging sound? What keeps dinging? And it would go bing, 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 bing. And I was like, what the fuck? Is someone like backing up a truck? Is the elevator.
Yeah,
every time the elevator hit a floor, it made a
forever.
ding. What kind of shitty hotel, like what kind of dumb design is like, let's make sure everyone knows the 15 floors that it's coming so audibly you can know when the elevator's going to arrive. No, just wait for the fucking light.
Yeah.
Wait for the light. It's
the door will open eventually.
It's going to open. Someone's going to act awkward because people are oddly territorial in elevators for some reason. Like when they open, I was like, I don't really want you to get in this elevator. I had the space thing happening. And like the 5 people get in. And then, What I don't like about elevators, because I get a little claustrophobic, is that I don't like when people don't have the courtesy to take the next one. I hate that.
Oh,
when they have to
man,
when they feel like let's just cram in,
you gotta
cram
make
in.
it happen.
And I'm like, if this elevator gets stuck, we're all gonna asphyxiate.
That never happens. How many times have you been in a stuck elevator?
When you're claustrophobic.
Growing up with Kevin was the most horrifying thing because he was deadly. It was the obesity, and he was deadly terrified of elevators because he had a bad experience one time where him and his mom got stuck in the one. Yeah, a horrible
what happened?
Experience.
I got stuck in the elevator for a couple hours with my mom.
So?
If you knew his mom.
My mom sucks, was what he just said, by the way. It's one of the funniest things I've ever heard anyone say.
That is amazing. But yeah, so every time we were in an elevator with him, he was just like freaking the fuck out. I'm like, dude, calm the fuck down. And then he got bit by a dog, and then we just couldn't go out.
I got better on both.
Remember in the movie New Year's Eve, or just New Year's, I forget what it's called, Ashton Kutcher and that girl from Glee get caught in an elevator, and they find a love connection. So maybe that could happen with you and your mom. Just saying, you played it wrong. You just played it
Kevin's not
wrong.
gonna find a love connection with anyone that's alive.
Yeah, it's true. So my favorite thing about hotels is going in, and it's that moment when you get on the bed and you realize that you can't touch every corner of the bed, and you're just like, "Fuck yeah!"
It's a big bed. I
You're just like starfishing it. That's awesome. But my least favorite thing about hotels, this is one of those things where it's a 50-50. It's either awesome or just the worst. You walk into the goddamn shower and you try to figure out the water pressure game and how fucking high the goddamn shower head is.
Right.
It's like, why are there shower heads that are like 3 feet down? It's like, that's not a service to anybody.
We'll go to Europe. They're all over the place. We're just like, it's like right here. It just shoots sideways at you. You're like, what the shit? You also hate the rain shower head.
Well, I
hate that thing.
I like the
fucking,
rain
well, I
shower.
can't
I
do
like
it.
it. I don't
I
know
need
just like
pressure.
it.
I need to feel like the water's beating down on me. I need to know I'm getting clean.
You want to be able to turn that little knob and have some fun with yourself? You know, the one
no,
that, like,
here's my thing.
takes it from a spout to a controlled
I love that. I
massager.
love the controlled thing. My thing is, if that water can hit my balls and not hurt me,
Yeah.
wait.
No, you're right. And not hurt you. Then
You
it's
want
not
it
good.
to
That's-
hurt you.
Yeah,
Not
that's the
good.
problem. I want to need to be able to have to cover shit
Yeah.
for things to be okay.
So you like strong pressure.
I like
the
strong pressure.
Yeah, I can get into that.
And it's the worst when it's just like little fucking trinkles, and you're like, especially when you have like product in your hair, you're trying to get it out, and you just feel it like going down your face. I'm like, God, this is disgusting. You're trying to wash your butt, and I'm like, nothing's being cleaned right now. I got a dirty butt.
Oh, I need
Bad
a
water
power hose on that bad boy back there.
But the height thing to me is the
like a
height thing is
trash chute.
even worse because it's like, I'm sure Greg.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't even imagine being you. Because for me, I'm just like, this sucks. 90% of the time, it'll be at like here, and I'm like, I can kind of deal with that.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's times where I'm like, this is made for little people. And like, most of the world aren't that small.
There's a lot of times I have to do it like, you know, like it's like a revelatory moment in a movie, right? Where you have to do like the whole like turn around and like it's just like I'm head down, like I just
What are you,
failed.
in a shower?
I just failed the team. Yeah, to get my
like-
head under the thing.
Like you're Rocky and you just lost the Clubber Lang.
I thought you were getting ready to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get bulldogged.
Well. Yeah. The worst is the ones that they're like on their own articulating arm. And you have to tighten them because you can go up and down with them, but they don't.
Oh,
they
I've
don't,
never even
This is
experienced
I had
that.
one bad experience with this where like I kept trying to push it up so it would be at normal height, and I would tighten it, but the tightening mechanism was broke, so it would just as I was showering would just slide down and just rest on my shoulder, and I'm like, this is just the way. And I'm short, so it's like I can only imagine that's never a problem for me. The height,
Yeah,
the height issue. This is the one time where I'm
this
like,
is not hotels, but have you ever been in someone's house where they have the crazy ass showers where it's like multiple shower
Yes.
heads? Oh my god!
I've only had that in hotels. I've
It's
never
like
known somebody that
there's
rich.
hotels with that.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I was gonna say I've had a great shower experience in hotels. The person who I know who has that kind of shit in his house is Nate Ahern in Seattle. When I go visit him, he has like 3 showers in his house. He has a fucking beautiful house, and he has a shower in the basement that is like hermetically sealed. Like it's just like you walk into this thing and you just close the door and you're just in the shower, and then there are like 5 different shower
That
heads.
sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
That
I
is
want
like
my
all
shower
these different- and I'm
experience
like-
to be a Disneyland ride.
I insist on taking showers when I'm at Nate's in that shower.
just
even though it's
Ange just
even-
wakes up and you're in their shower. You're like,
It's the one in the basement where like it's like in the shower. It's like it literally. I guess the person that owned the house before maybe was like an athlete or something. Like you would come in and you would just take a shower real quick, or whatever. So it's like in their laundry room, and I like
Interesting.
go into the basement and like go into the shower just to use that shower. 'Cause it's incredible.
why not?
What about bad hotel experiences? I have 2 that jump to mind. Number 1 was in college or right after college, going to a friend's wedding, and we were splitting the room. And this is one of those, like, you know, I went to school in Missouri. I don't talk about it often. This little school called the University of Missouri. And that is in Columbia, dead center in Missouri. And it's a small city, right? Like, it's, you know, liberal, everything else. And then when you go outside of it, before St. Louis, before Kansas City, up north, whatever, that's when you get into, like, what most people think of, like, small town Missouri. This was, like, small town fucking Missouri. It was a wedding out there. And the only hotel was, like, one of, like, the Bates Motel, right? Where it's like, you know, like it's
Like the motel,
exactly
like
right.
Motor Inn.
Right. With a gravel parking lot, and like you walk up to your door and you open it and you're just there. You're
get
in.
road
Like, you know what I
tripped.
mean? Yeah, exactly. And so like when we booked it, they were like, all we have left smoking rooms. And we were like, okay, how bad could it be? And then my friend
Yeah.
Kyle opened the door and threw it open and he just went, ay caramba. Because you just got fucking punched in the
Yeah.
face
That's the
by
worst.
30 years of small town Missouri smoke.
Yeah.
And you were like, holy shit, is this horrible.
Even as a smoker, or I should say reformed smoker now, I can't be in those environments because it's just toxic. It's terrible. And sometimes I'll even have problems in Vegas when there'll just be that much smoke around you. But in the hotel room, it's the worst. It's the worst.
Everything smells like smoke.
Everything.
No one's smoking in there. But
The mattress, the floor, the walls, like the smoke gets into the walls. You can't get that out.
Yeah.
You have to like literally repaint over them. And even then, that's the worst.
And the other bad one was when I was trying to drive to IGN from Missouri as well. When I was moving out here and almost died and ended up staying in that trailer. When I finally gave up and drove back the 15 miles to get another hotel room at this other place, dumpy, truck stop. Not motel, but close to it. It had stories at least. I got in there, got up there, and it was a danky, a shady room to say the least or whatever. And I remember I needed to charge my phone, so I moved out the nightstand on the side, and behind it were all these condoms. Not they were unused, but it was still just this disgusting thing of like this is how well the maids clean this room. That some guy had a fuck fest up here,
or this
knocked his condoms off the thing, and they all just fell there. And
this is where all the prostitutes come to with their johns, most likely. Sorry about that.
I was fine. Okay.
I've had a lot of
I threw the comforter on the ground.
The comfort and the pillows over it. It's fine. I've had a bunch of bad experiences in New York with hotel rooms.
Tiny rooms?
Oh my god!
Because they're the world's smallest rooms, and they charge you so much money. Like, this is a cottage, like a boutique hotel, and you're like, no, this used to be someone's like bathroom, and you converted that into a hotel room. But the worst was when I did a gig for my buddy's company. It was a freelance gig, and we were flying to New York. I think it was for something for like NBA, or we were supposed to meet Kevin Durant somewhere. But we had all gotten in early.
We're in a meet him in Shake Shack.
They were doing an event where he was supposed to play the game. We were supposed to film him. Like, we were doing a package with him. But we had to fly in a red eye. And we got there, and I was like, please, God, let our rooms be ready. And they were not ready. So we waited, and we had not
Always
slept.
in New York.
Had not slept, and it was like 11 o'clock, and we were supposed to meet the client at like 5. And they're like, your rooms aren't, sorry, so your rooms aren't going to be ready till like 3 or 4. And finally, one of the rooms was ready. So we're like, great, we're just going to go in. I'll take a spot on the floor. And 2 guys can sleep in the bed, and we'll just knock out for a few hours. And we get up there, and there's not even a spot on the floor. The room's so small that you have to you have to put your stuff in the closet because there's no other floor space. And we had to shimmy over to the bed. So just cut to about 30 minutes later, 3 grown men trying to sleep in a full-size bed. So it was 2 fetal positions back to back, and one person sleeping on our legs like a dog, and it just did not work. I mean, I knocked out for a good hour, but I woke up and both the guys had left because they were like, it was miserable. Sorry, it was not working. I was not snoring. I don't snore, but that leads me to my other worst time in a hotel ever. When I have one friend specifically, and I won't shout him out right now, but he's the world's... No.
Brandon.
Actually, I don't think Eric snores.
Mike Aransky.
I'm pretty sure Mike Aransky probably snores.
Oh,
No,
Aransky gets nasty.
Does he?
It's bad. It's bad.
But my buddy was like, yeah, we booked a gig together, and I think it was in Vegas. Oh no, we got flown out to do something in Vegas for NAB. And they were like, well, they're only getting one room for us. And I was like, well, maybe I'll spring for another one. And I looked at the prices. I was like, no, I'm not springing for another one. This is way too... During conventions in Vegas, the room could just jack up. And that was a mistake because he snores. And he's like, it's not that bad. But when you're not a snorer and you're sleeping next to someone who is a snorer, imagine trying to go to sleep when periodically someone turns a lawnmower on next to you and then proceeds to try to cut through stone with it. That's what it sounds like. to the point where I literally was like, I'm like, this is so bad. The next day I was like, I gotta get another room. And he's like, it's not that bad, dude. Dude, it's not that bad. And I'm like, I'm going to film you when you fall asleep. I told him, I was like, I'm going to record what you sound like. And to this day, he does not believe that it was him that actually made that noise. Because it would sound like a beast, like a fucking hell beast coming out of the gates of hell.
There's something about snoring that actually bothers me.
Oh, it bothers me.
It's not a matter of oh, this guy snores, or stay away from it. It's like, I'm like, yo, like, why are you snoring? Why are you snoring like this? There's something wrong with you. This isn't the way you're supposed to sound when you're sleeping. That, like, you need to correct this problem. Because I've had a similar problem where I've slept with... I had roommates in college that snore. I wanted to fucking kill myself.
Yeah.
I swear to God, when I moved into Northeastern, I had my first roommate, nice guy. He left halfway through, at the end of the first semester, so I've never even seen him again. But he was a nice guy, but he snored, and I used to I feel bad because I used to we had bunk beds, and I would on the top bunk and he was on the bottom bunk, and he would snore, and I would just go and I would just bang the wall, just be like. Like that, and he would stir up, and then I would pretend I was sleeping. So he didn't
he left 6 months in. I don't really know why.
I don't know why. It's the craziest thing.
No, it wasn't because of that. But then the guy that came in, I lived with a football player that second semester who was just the same. I'm like, I can't avoid it, and it was to me, it's just dude, I know it's like hard to control or whatever, but like you need to do something about it. Like you're in a room with another person, like you need to feel bad about it. If I was a snorer and I was sleeping with someone else, I'd feel fucking really self-conscious about it and like try to get like the breathe right strip or whatever, or sleep on my back, whatever you're supposed to do to help. Maybe sleep on your back's actually the exact opposite.
That's
thing.
what
You're supposed to sleep on your side.
Yeah, like, and you know, I don't know. That shit always bother me because I just feel like, yo, like it's kind of a common decency thing to like not do this in front of other people. I don't care if you can control it or not. You need to figure it out. You know?
Yeah, I've literally been in hotel rooms where I've been forced to. I took like at one point I was like, fuck this, grabbed all of the covers off of the bed and threw them into the bathtub and shut the door and tried to drown it out and slept in the bathtub and it still didn't work. There was one time I had to literally get up and go downstairs and be like, I need another room. That's it. Gotta have it.
Man, to me, it's just not that big a deal.
Because you snore.
I only snore, and this sounds like stupid to say, but I don't snore at home. I only snore when I'm at other people's places. For some reason, it just happens. But it's like I don't think I snore that bad. It might be a little bit. Maybe sometimes it's bad. I don't know.
It's bad.
But I feel like there's some people that are super sensitive to it, like Nick, where I'm just like, there's some times where I'm like, this is not that bad. But you just wouldn't be able to
You
sleep.
have to understand that like when it's pitch silent, when there's no noise in the room. Is it pitch silent? No, it's dead silent. Excuse me.
Pitch silent.
Pitch black, dead silent. When it's silent in the room, if you're not a snorer, you're used to silence. And so anything, like literally anything will wake me up. Like I'll hear, like the guy upstairs from me snores in my apartment, and it'll wake me up. And that's like
that would infuriate me.
Through, and it's I got a fan eventually because I was like, I need other noise in the room to drown it out. I need white noise, and I need it to be organic.
That just sounds crazy. Like I just feel like sleeping. Evolution.
I'll tell you what. Next time you sleep, I'm gonna sneak into your room.
Yeah.
And occasionally, I'm just gonna start a fucking chainsaw, and then I'm gonna stop it and see what happens.
I mean, I feel like it's just like, all right, I'd adapt. Things happen.
Probably, and there's a.
But there's that line when you can't. You know what I mean? Like you and I room together usually because we're the same way. It's just like I can sleep through just about anything.
Yeah, Nick and I are the room together now.
But the thing was, last year at Comic-Con, at the last minute,
yeah.
Don't tell names. Obviously, I got put with somebody who snores, and so it was like I'm like no big deal. I can sleep through anything. And it was like I came in and I just wasn't in that place yet, and so then I laid down and like laid there looking at the wall for like 45 minutes, and of course then it gets in your head of like I need to be up in 5 hours and I need to be on camera all day, and it's just I got up and I went downstairs and got earplugs. And then I did that and I was fine, but it was just like, you know what I mean? Like
even earplugs wouldn't do it for me.
Pretty good.
First of all, I'm a very light sleeper, and there is a difference between being a light sleeper and a heavy sleeper, and it's some weird thing in your brain that like.
No, don't, Christine, don't break eye contact. No, he's coming to you.
What were you saying, Nick?
If you are a light sleeper, your brain will lock into that, and then it does that. It plays that game of even if it stops, when's it going to start again?
That's exactly right.
When's it going to start again?
Yeah, you wait for it.
You wait for it.
I totally.
So you guys are crazy.
No, we're not. Because here's the thing about it, is that if you're alone, make all the noise you want. But I agree with you. Like Greg had a guest staying here once. We will name no names.
Thank you.
That was the worst snorer ever, I would say, that I've ever heard. Right? Would you categorize that level of snoring as like it's
for him? Yeah.
Next level.
Yeah.
And this person was staying in Greg's room and I was in my room, and we share a wall. And I could hear it clear as day, as if it was happening like right next to my ear. And I'm like, this is fucking insane.
That's insane.
And I have Spotify, so I found like white noise on repeat and just played it, blared it. Because I was like, I can't. You know?
There's
not that I need
white noises on Spotify?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like, you know, like ambient ocean
they have
noises.
They have apps for it too, where you can combine like a fan, air conditioner, and the wind and the ocean. And I just I highlight them all. And I just
You can combine them?
Yeah, you can actually make
crazy.
your own white noise sound.
Because that's the thing. If the snore, here's the thing about the snore. If the snore was constant at a constant pitch, it wouldn't actually be a big deal at all.
No, if it was a double drum,
yeah,
it's a
oh right, you can't get into a rhythm of it, and then they choke themselves awake or whatever. Yeah.
And so I have a zero tolerance policy for that. Like I can't deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. That's why I stay with Nick when we travel now. Is because like I know Nick's not going to snore. He knows I am not going to snore, and that is basically the end of it.
Yep. I'm even self-conscious about breathing heavily. Like even heavy breathers bother me.
Well, that was the thing with Colin when we roomed together the first time ever. He said to me, "Do you snore?" And I go, "No." And we woke up the next day, and I was like, "How was I?" And he's like, "You're borderline." He's like, "You breathe loudly." And I felt self-conscious about it. I was like, "I'm so sorry," because I thought I've been told I don't. You know what I mean? Like Christine has been clear from early on. Like I needed to breathe through my fucking nose when we slept, and I've gotten it sounds stupid. Like I learned to do that, but you do, right? Like it's
do.
just something you get yourself in a rhythm of it, and then you don't do it the other way. But even then, it was still just super loud. But like I've said before, I'm loud with everything I do, whether it be vocally or anally. I'm very loud.
Yeah.
You're gonna leave it on vocally or anally?
Yeah.